Welcome to the Just Josh podcast.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you?
This whole thing's a little weird.
Ah, never you fear, laddie buck.
Robby, welcome back.
Thank you. It was so good the first time I had to come back.
Is it that, or is it that Alex didn't show?
Maybe a little bit of both.
No, I had to throw in that jab. No, I feel bad. He sent me the pictures, and I was like, damn, dude.
He'll be
Damn,
all right.
good,
He'll
yes.
be in here.
Speedy recovery to
He'll
him
be in
soon.
here.
We miss you, Alex. I had a really fun podcast plan for him too.
Well, we're making up for it with our long-awaited part 2.
I know. Well, technically, this is like part 6.
Part 6.
But it's only 2 that people are gonna actually see.
Yeah. Sports.
I like sports.
They're cool. I appreciate them, but I'm not like I don't follow. I like going to baseball games. Are sick. You get like a beer. You just sit out in the sun.
That's
hang
because
out,
it's chill.
and-
You don't have
yeah,
to
and
actually
it's-
pay attention to
exactly.
enjoy it.
You don't have
know?
to pay attention. And when something exciting happens, the crowd, oh, and you see the ball flying in the air, and they either catch it or they get a home run. It's cool. I did get to see a grand slam at an Orioles game.
Oh, that's
one day.
cool.
That was awesome.
That's dope.
I was
as
like,
hell.
wow. As a guy that's like not a sports person, I know I saw something like
Dope.
Not
Yeah.
everyone sees that. You know?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
It's funny how simple humans are. Like, we hit a ball and then everyone just goes like this. Woo! And we just stare at it and then we start cheering.
I forget where.
Like, humans cheer for the weirdest things. You think
yeah.
we'd be cheering when like there's a breakthrough in science
Yeah.
or a cure for cancer, but no. We
Yeah.
love staring at
I
balls
forget,
getting hit in the air.
I forget where I heard it, but apparently the reason why our hands like evolved over time is because like we always used to throw things, and someone was like, in a way, we're
So
still.
what did we have before? No thumb?
Oh, I don't know.
You're just like
It's
four
just,
fingers.
just more,
like
yeah,
this?
more defined or whatever. We all came from whales, apparently. But
Well, we really didn't evolve because I keep hurting my thumb. It keeps like popping out of its socket. And I know, and the doctor's like, well, from now on, it's going to pop out easier.
you heard it here first, folks. Josh is a degen.
Yeah. No, I see people that can do the weird thing with their thumb and it doesn't hurt, but mine,
some
like,
people are double jointed. And
yeah, but mine's not, I'm definitely not double jointed, so it shouldn't be going in the direction it keeps going. So much arguing over stipends and other stuff like that, or like more money, different things. And this is my take, and I can only speak for myself. I'd be willing to give up any, $1,200 or give up any sort of stipend or money or unemployment if I knew that money was then going to go to contact tracing, to putting better systems in place to where we can actually get back to work and survive even with COVID. You know what I mean? And yes, there's going to be a couple people that aren't going to follow the rules or don't care. But I think if we had contact tracing and we had certain things, then it wouldn't matter. We could still find a way to kind of get somewhat back to normal, even without a vaccine. So if I knew that my money that I'm giving up was going to go to put implements in place that will help the nation as a whole, I think that's my American right and duty to do so. And then it would end a lot of this fighting. Here's the problem. So far, even the money that was supposed to go towards certain things haven't. Or the money that's available right now. They can say we don't have the money, or it's this or that, Democrat, Republican, this, that. But really, when it comes down to it, we have enough money in this world, in the United States. If we really wanted to, we could easily set up contact tracing, easily set up ways to get faster testing within the day. Our government has enough money. They should have already put these things in place. That was the first thing they should have done when this hit in March.
I think there were things in place, and I think the leadership from the top right now did everything he could to dismantle and just kind of be the bull in the china shop he wanted to be, and then something bad like this happens, where it's like we don't have the protections like we used to, or they're just very poorly mismanaged or whatever,
I don't understand why, again, people in the same party or people that are backing him won't just say, hey, man,
Hey, it was.
This is serious stuff. This isn't
Yeah.
a political thing anymore.
Well,
you know,
this election.
you know what's funny? If he would have handled this right and like done everything perfect from March, I guarantee he would have been president again. I guarantee it.
Before shit hit the fan, I think he could have had it locked. You know, just because.
Doesn't mean I wanted it, but
yeah,
I guarantee he would have still been president if he would have just gone and done what he needed to do.
Everyone was expecting him to win re-election. You're like, how they gonna be? And the economy's doing great or whatever. But
I mean, was it really?
it was for the wealthy people. For the common working man, it was about the same. People that have a lot of money in the stock market, you know, but the stock market isn't an accurate reflection of general wealth.
That's
for the average person.
It's funny.
Working man.
Yeah, it's funny how you can make a lot of money in that, but to me, the stock market is just bullshit anyway. It's just money laundering and other stuff like that.
It's a long game, and you got to be wise. You got to read the trends. You got to be on top of it, and you got to be comfortable moving big chunks of money around like that. You know?
Well, I just think there's other things that I could take my money in that are more secure than the stock market, like running a business or doing other things. You know,
I put a little bit of money in Bitcoin. I know I'm like 5 years late, but you know, see what it does.
I just think when you do that, you're putting guns and other illegal things into the hands of countries that we don't want using them against us. In the big picture, I know that sounds very conspiracy-like, but it's true. That's what a lot of Bitcoin and other things are used for, and the people that regulate that shit. You don't know where that's regulated. The government's not regulating that shit.
Yeah,
could be some Joe Schmo in India.
It's just a system.
Yeah, it's just a system. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I never got into Bitcoin because, again, I work too hard for the money to where I would want to spend it. Because I'm the type that's stays on the safer side than the risky side. Whereas I'd rather just work my ass off and save money for 3 years to get something I want, as opposed to taking a chance and hitting it big and then, you know, doing short-term stuff that don't benefit me long-term.
Well,
you know,
to me, Bitcoin's like another long-term game. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like the price went up $10,000 in the last 15 years or whenever it first came out. I don't have a lot of money into it. The mining farms, the things that people build or whatever, it'll always be out there, and no one can really control it. So it's like, I think it's future, whether it's Bitcoin or not. That system of currency and finance, I don't think that's going to go anywhere unless the government outlaws it, and then it'll just be a black market.
I kind of wish we did get rid of money, because I think it's pointless at this point with technology. You might as well just have everyone give them credit cards, you know, with the money on it.
You mean like paper cash?
Yeah, paper cash and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just
it's dirty. It's gross. It's like it's annoying.
But then every transaction can be traced. That's why people like.
Well, if you're not doing anything illegal, would it matter? I mean, we're supposed to be law-abiding citizens, right?
I don't know. It depends. Like if you, yeah, man, this is America. We're supposed to be free, first of all.
Did you see that? Did you know that? I don't know if there was a lawsuit or something like that. Taxes, they should be just free, and you should just be able to do it online straight with the government. But since they the IRS outsources it, allowed, you know, like Tax Pro and TurboTax and all those things to do it. There's only 3 companies that can or whatever have it. And the reason that they gave them the contract was because it was under the assumption that, hey, yeah, we'll provide that service for free. Every other country has free tax. You can do your taxes for free. It takes out the proper amount, and then that's it, you know, or it does it for you, and that's it. But so when the IRS outsourced it, then what they did was they do offer a free one, but it's hidden. So everyone pays for their taxes, basically, even though they don't have to. And even when you do qualify for the free one, like if you're making under $60,000 or something like that, it's supposed to be free by the law. And it is, but when you start going through TurboTax's website,
they have fees because they're providing you a service.
Yeah, they're like, well, are you that? They ask you, are you a student? Are you this or that? And depending on what, every single one took you back to the one where you have to pay for it, even though you don't. What they did is they hid it on their website to where in order to get the free version, you actually have to click on a link that takes you to another website. But the website you originally went to is called TurboTax Free or TurboTax whatever, but it's not really free. The free version is something else.
Well,
so we're all getting scammed right now anyway. I tried to tell my dad that.
I used TurboTax, and
was it free?
I mean, it cost maybe like $40.
Yeah, but still, it should be free. I don't care if it's 25.
Whatever. It was a nice, easy, smooth website to do. I got it done in 20 minutes.
And so is the free one. You just actually have to click on it. I guess my point is, and even though it might be
I got to
convenient.
see this link.
Yeah, and even though it's convenient, and it's a whole different website. That's my point. Like, it's not even on the one that says free. On the one that's not free, it doesn't say free in the title. Yeah. So people assume it's one you have to pay for. So they're going to the free site, which is actually the pay one. It's just really screwed up. I'm just saying, if it's supposed to be free, I don't care if it was $10. They're still screwing us over. You know, it's still, and that's what our society is built on, is that kind of business.
Making money.
No, you can. I believe in business. I'm a business guy. I got my degrees in business. I believe in capitalism, but in a smart way, in a fair way. I believe I should pay this, you know, there should be tax brackets for companies where on certain things they're getting breaks, like for employees, because I think it's important. But then on other things, I don't mind paying my fair share of taxes. You know, there should be a certain amount that I have to pay, or they should say you need to do this much charity work.
A lot of rich people do the charity.
Well, they do it anyway. I know that's what they do anyway, but I'm saying it should be in law, or it should be built into the tax system, so where it's not just them writing a check, because anyone can write a check when you're that rich. You know what I mean? And it really doesn't do much. And and half the time it might go to their people that they work with, or partners or family friends that own, because everyone, their mom now has a non-profit that they run.
Yeah.
But it's really not a non-profit.
No,
it's just
they
that
funnel money to it.
Yeah, they funnel money, or even if they're doing it the right way, they're still making millions of dollars and then only putting, you know, a couple $100,000 a year towards the actual mission.
Not much accountability as far as the follow through.
I still believe you have to work for it. You know, I don't want any handouts. That's the thing. I think in our country, it's always extremes. You know, people are always seeing the extremes of the other side and then just bashing heads instead of realizing that the best way for our country to work and function is if we actually meet somewhere in the middle and understand, like, I don't want people just not working and then getting paid money. That's bullshit. You should work. Like, I believe you should get drug tested if you're getting welfare or if you're getting food stamps. If I have to get tested for a job, then I believe that they should be drug tested too. We would be a much better, if everyone was more well off, people are happier. People work harder. You know, people look out for other people. When it's cutthroat like this, then you're only looking out for yourself, because that's the only way you can survive. People are willing to take some fake political alliance to people that have no interest, Democrats included, whatever, and put that before saying, wait, this is just not right. Something's wrong here, and we need to do something about it. They turn it into a political thing. So if I stand up and say, wait, something's not right, they're like, oh, it's because you lean more Democrat, or you know. I'm like, no, it has nothing to do with that.
Like,
if this was Hillary Clinton in office right now doing this shit, dude, I would be throwing a fit right now. I would be throwing a fit, just like I am, you know.
There's only like a couple Republicans that have come out and been like, this president's not right, he's tripping. And it just sets a bad precedent for what you can do as a president.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the president,
but you don't now. You know the Democrats are going to go when they get in office and use all that stuff.
The president has too much power. He's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to talk to the American people, give them the general vibe of what's going on with the federal government. But I think these days the president himself has too much power. We shouldn't be doing all these executive orders. He should be leading the Senate and the House, saying, "Hey, this is the direction we want the country to go, and you guys need to work under my leadership and make it work, and not just we're doing this now, we're doing this now, we're doing this now." You know,
well, I'm kind of worried that the Democrats are going to do that and ruin it even more, because I'm just as against them using it.
And that's what I mean about precedent, because even Obama did a lot of executive orders.
He did.
And
well, some of them he had to, but then some of them I didn't agree with because it was political.
Every president has to make executive orders, but now it's become a tool to kind of take it's like used as a tool to almost punish either side of Senate, because the Senate are supposed to be the people that write the laws and say this is the policy we want, and the president is supposed to just give the stamp of approval. Right. You know, like, I think the American people will back this or whatever, you know.
Again, I think it's a systematic thing over decades of how, and we need to change the system.
Bad culture. Yeah, there's been a very toxic culture.
They were even just talking about it on the news, which surprised me, because it's always about Trump or always about things, but they actually talked about real news and real things, which was we need to get away from this two-party system, and not even that, the electoral votes. We need to get rid of that, because that's what is causing all the stuff. So that's why Trump got 3 million less votes or whatever.
Yeah. I think there's a need for it, but I think there needs to be other measurements used, and it needs to be like further calculated. Like,
well, the ranking system, again, that gets rid of all that stuff. You don't have to worry about just the popular vote, because you vote for who you would want first, second, and third. So if someone gets over 50%, they win. Yeah. If everyone gets under 50%, then take off the bottom person, and then the bottom person votes go to the second. So the second person could actually win. Yeah. Americans like entertainment. They like the social media and stuff, and we're getting away from sciences and other things, I think that.
I think the boomers in 2016 were like, we're tired of this. Let's see what happens. And it's like, okay, well, we saw what happens. It was dope, right? All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get back to business. It's tough though. It's just and cable news ratings has a lot to do with, is a big piece of the pie.
I also think there's a lot of things in place to prevent good quality candidates from actually going into politics too. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've never gone into politics because for 6 months of my baby life that I was born, and by law, I cannot come into the country until I'm 6 months old. Like, I could never be president.
Yeah, I don't believe there's a deep state or whatever, but there's definitely like the systematic, traditional sense of doing things in the government. And now that we have the internet and it's this new thing, and people have new influences, they haven't meshed quite yet, and
we're
they're
kind
still
of like colliding. If anything, we're like colliding. It's weird to think that we didn't even have a lot of this technology we do now in 2007, and to me that seems like yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
But I forget it's 13 years ago, so there's already two different generations under me.
Like 2007 was MySpace, and then the whole social media thing is still very new, And
I didn't have a smartphone until the end of college.
I got my first smartphone in like high school. I remember when Facebook first started having games. Like it was like they just had like the Facebook games, and
I still get poked. I'm not joking. Someone poked me the other day, and I'm like, and I messaged them. I was like, "Why are you poking me? Like, what does that mean? What does that even mean?"
Help! I'm trapped in 2009. I need to get back.
Yeah, they're like, dude, no, I'm seriously, I'm trapped. I found a time.
All I can do.
I found a time machine, and I got trapped.
The poking feature on Facebook, was a holdover from when it was like a college hooking up app.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I used it for in college. Shit, that's all it was for. Yeah, it worked too. That's how I met people from other colleges.
I had MySpace first, and then I got Facebook, but I joined Facebook after it was a college hookup app. But yeah, crazy. Now we have Tinder, where it's just no holds bar. It's like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Are you ready for this, T? Bernie Sanders 78, Joe Biden 77. But when you watch videos,
get into your 80s though.
It
goes
old.
downhill
that's
quick.
Old. And Trump's up there too, I think. When you watch videos of Biden, he's up there, man. He's not all there. I know he has stutter too, but he makes it's clear he's not all there. Yeah. So I don't know. It's very clear. Anyone that can watch the videos, and it's sad to say, but like at the same time, it's like we're about to try to elect this guy president. So I don't know if he's gonna even want to do full terms.
Why can't we just elect a good 35-year-old?
But like they might just give him his first 100 days and then hand the reins off.
I don't want handouts for anyone. I think everyone needs to work for their living and put in a day's hard work. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have access to stuff. We need access to, fair college. Now, if you have the money and you want to pay to go to Yale, or you have the connections, that's fine. That's not going to change. People are acting like we're just handing out Yale degrees.
We could expand community colleges. So, like, if you do need to do a quick career change, you can take a 6-month class, kind of figure it out. You have some job placement resources.
Even a 4-year these days, to me, a college degree is what a high school degree should be. Is the same level of education these days, because we're dumber and it's dumbed down.
It's like wages too.
So now, unless you have a master's or another degree, that's how you really advance these days. Before, if you had a college degree, you were golden. You could get any job and make up to six-figure.
I think but now we should just try to embrace more trades, more trade type jobs, manufacturing.
Oh yeah. Like that. Well, they have schools for that. They have, but then they're not making a lot. But a lot of them are like mechanics or stuff like that.
I think people need to be reminded that trade school is a good option.
I think America's due for a infrastructure upgrade too.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'll be a good way to get
Energy,
Americans work.
electricity, everything, all that stuff. Just, I was thinking how we always try to make this fun and not serious, and the whole time we've been talking about semi-politics.
Whatever.
Which is fine. No, it's great.
Y'all
I'm just
don't have to
saying, like,
listen.
yeah, no, I know. I don't care.
If we're bored
I
now,
love
you
it.
can
Yeah,
turn it off.
yeah, that's true. But speaking of this,
Yes.
also, look, as much as I'm not a fan of Trump, I do feel bad and send condolences for his brother passing. Because if you're a human being, even if the person's a piece of crap, in your opinion,
Yeah,
it's still like I can't imagine my sister passed or my parents passed. You know what I mean? So just as a human being, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not easy, and especially because it seemed like they were really close from what everyone's reporting and saying.
They said
like
he was his best friend. Yeah. So.
like, well, I don't believe anything Trump said, but I believe that. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that was his biggest supporter and someone that he could confide in and would have his back, just like his sons and daughter. You know,
Yeah, it's kind of suck losing a family member, and
especially someone you're
I'm sure
close
Trump
to.
is someone you.
And he's
I'm
human
sure-
deep down.
Yeah, I'm sure he's grieving. I'm sure it sucks, And Biden tweeted him or whatever, which is cool too.
Yes, good for him. I'm glad he did, because I guarantee if that was the other way around, Trump would have tweeted him, but then maybe thrown in something sly in there.
Hey,
Who knows?
Sleepy Joe, I heard about your brother passing. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So
He would.
not to so I don't know facts, and me saying this, I don't want to. The headline of this podcast will be "Trump brother died of COVID?" And that will get a lot of views.
Yeah,
but
it's a very interesting thought.
so when I
mean, it's
say this,
possible.
I'm not conspiracy, but it's not that far fetched. And the reason he hasn't made a big deal about it, or it was last second, is he's known. And you think he got? Remember, the reports are he got sick in March. Is when his brother got sick. It wasn't like an ongoing thing from like cancer. This is a new thing that happened, and not once has he mentioned it. And so I think maybe, and this is just a maybe.
That would be one spicy cup of tea, that's
right?
for sure.
I think maybe he might have gotten COVID and he passed from COVID, and Trump is not saying that
Just
because he's
covering
been, because he's been fanning the flame of that
it would be
side of
interesting.
things. What do you think?
It's a very interesting theory. I would say if it is true and he did die of COVID, him and I guess Trump and Secret Service or whatever have done an excellent job covering it up, because all these media outlets would be all over it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The hypocrisy of it, and they would just light Trump
Well, it might
on
still
fire.
come out.
It
It might still come out. Who knows? Now, again, I don't necessarily think that happened because there's nothing that points to that being it. But the timeline of him getting sick, and
Pure
then also, he probably is someone that didn't wear a mask, I would assume. He probably, didn't take all the precautions, maybe, even when he was sick. And there's something else. But, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, this BBC article, all it says is... President visited his brother in a hospital in New York.
But don't you think this would have been
telling reporters he's having a hard time? It is unclear what caused Robert Trump's death.
I know
it's unclear.
But don't you think they would have known something? They would, if it was an ongoing condition, that it would have already been out there. That this is something he's been dealing with.
Yeah, like it
so
would have
that's why I
already
think,
leaked.
Yeah, I think that's why I think it's COVID. And again, that's pure speculation on my part, but I would not be surprised if that was the case. Now, this is the next question. If it was COVID, do you think it would do anything to change Trump's view or how he acts and thinks about it, because it did hit so close to home? Or do you think he's going to keep going on his little rants?
I think...
See, that's a hard one.
I think he placates to his base, and his base wants...
No matter what?
Wants...
Even if it was his best friend that died from COVID, you don't think even a little bit of him? Because I don't. I think he'd still be...
You think he would...
I don't think he would change. I think he would stay the same.
Yeah, I think he would stay the same too. And he has been wanting
how
things.
sad is
he's
that?
been wanting things to open up and stuff, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it is.
So this is why I think business should be part of every high school and college, is because if you're a business owner, you understand that in order to open up fully and actually get back to normal, we need to do everything possible to get rid of this virus. So that's what's weird to me, that people say they're a businessman. If you're a real businessman, you wouldn't be pushing your political agenda, because for the longest time, political views were like all the way down the line of importance in people's lives. Yeah, you might feel a certain way, but now it's number one.
Yeah.
Now it's all people talk
And
about.
apparently Russia has they have a vaccine or whatever.
They have water, and
when we get to the point where we are comfortable with saying, okay, things can open up. But I mean, I think it would be very unwise to just kind of sit around and do nothing until we have this vaccine. Because, you know, this virus, it'll probably always exist. It'll always mutate. It'll always get people sick. And it's just to the point where it's like, where have we saved the most amount of people with our actions, and where can we just kind of keep it going? Because we have to keep it going. We can't just live in fear of a virus.
No.
For the rest of human history, you know.
But back to our point before, though, you know, if I would give up my stimulus, I would give back the $1,200 and tell them to keep the next stimulus check, if that meant that they put the proper, you know, systems and things in place.
Well,
so even if we do have those assholes out there that just don't care and are trying to be assholes on purpose, we can still at least battle the virus and go back to normal. You know, because I want to work, and I want to get back out there too. You know, this isn't fun for me.
Yeah,
This
well,
sucks.
the leadership that we have now, it's clear that that's not going to be invested in. It's like, I think everyone wants to just go back to work, except for maybe the select few people that are somehow making more money on unemployment than not.
Right.
But
And that's the very few, and that's people that weren't going. And a lot of those people that are doing that, they didn't get benefits in the first place because you had to have been working. So if you've just been and benefits are only for a certain amount of weeks. So it's not like, so everyone's making a big deal of this, like these guys have been living off. No, the people that are actually getting the money are people that were working and now can't. It's not like they were just sitting on their ass, because when I applied for unemployment, I had to show all my work history. So if you haven't been working and you're just living off welfare and stuff, you're not getting money. And they're trying to make it seem like those are the people getting the money. No, the people that are getting the money are the people that are getting paid so little by working 40, 50, 60 hours a week that it doesn't even equal 600. And that's the problem, which obviously has been pointed out multiple times. But look, again, it's just weird to me that political views run our country and our society, not our interests, not other things. And then again, politics, at least maybe I was naive when I was younger. You don't talk about as much politics when you're younger, depending in general, especially when you're real young. But I just don't remember politics being such a driving force in our country.
Well,
like there was, don't get me wrong, there were like Bush, there was a lot of different, but it wasn't like this.
Yeah,
it was never like this.
In society, the media, there's so much more media now that it's cranked up and everyone needs your attention, and fear is the best way to get people to look.
Why can't we use common sense and just be able to read through? Like, everyone takes the first headline or the first whatever as truth.
Clicks, man. Click, 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 click.
But why are people that stupid now? Like, why can't we just see past that?
Hey, man, we're human, dude. We're not perfect. We like shit. We like being mad.
I can tell what's a bullshit thing and not without even clicking on it.
We're still figuring out what it does to society.
I think we figured it out pretty good. We can see how it's just crumbled our system.
Yeah, and we are now in the period of time where we're going to try to fix that. We're going to try different solutions and stuff. It just takes time. You know, people thought Trump was going to do it, having some hard-headed egomaniac as president. You know, we're trying different shit. We're going to have Joe Biden.
I mean, I'm not happy about that either.
No, it's...
You know, I'd rather have other people in office. I would even take The Rock.
If I did what the people wanted, it'd be brainy. But
again,
that's okay.
I tried to say that to my dad, and he's so DNC, and I get it because it's just ingrained in him. Yeah, I get it. If I was born the same time he was, I would have the same views, I bet.
It's just crazy because 1988, Biden ran for president then too, and he basically got kicked out of the election or the campaigning or whatever. He dropped out because he got caught plagiarizing 2 speeches. Robert Kennedy, I think, and the other one was some Englishman from the Labor Party.
Well, I don't think Biden's the smartest dude.
No,
I don't. In fact, I think he's pretty just like he got stuff done.
I think
he's a good worker.
I think he's run of the mill. He's just run of the mill career.
He's from
politician.
Delaware.
Yeah, he's a career politician.
Come on.
You know, they have no sales tax there. That's pretty dope.
So do a lot of other states.
Like what else? Where else?
I like the people of Delaware. Aubrey, that one actress, Aubrey, whatever. She's with a lot of pictures
From Parks and Rec?
Yeah,
Aubrey
I think
Plaza?
she was. Yeah, Aubrey Plaza. She's so funny, dude.
Yeah, she's funny.
She's the type of girl I want to marry. That's what I'm looking for.
Awkward.
Awkward, funny, good looking though, still, but doesn't take herself seriously. You know, that's what I like. See, I think some people take themselves too seriously. They're on Instagram taking. I actually screenshotted one account because I was just so blown away with how like into herself she was. She had zero. See, I use, and I'm sure I post things that might come across this way, and I don't mean for it, and it's not intended, but I'm not just posting selfies of me with my shirt off or like professional photos of me doing different things, but it's just me.
I don't post anything.
Yeah, I know.
I went a 3-year gap on Instagram without posting anything.
I know, that's crazy. That's so crazy. I see that. I still
got
see
nothing
that.
to share.
But I post about life, like what I'm doing that day, or maybe what I bought, or other things like that. And I even post food pictures. I love, some people hate on food pic. I'll take them all day. If you're posting good food, keep posting them.
Like I take photos, I just don't. I'm never like, oh, I need to put this on Instagram. It's just never like it's.
I don't feel I need to, but it's been ingrained in me since I did have technology when I'm younger. You know? Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the only, even on my personal one, I know I'm like, even though I don't necessarily care about posting this, I know it's still going to keep the algorithm up. So when I do post something about the podcast or I do post something about EUM, people are going to see it because they see it.
Especially if you're trying to push a brand, you know, you want to be posting every day.
So here's what I hate. I wish I could post it just on those pages, but I don't have as many followers on those pages as my personal page.
Oh, you just got to work them, bro.
Well, I know that, but my point is that's why I post them on my personal page, because that's how I get people to go to those pages, you know? But yeah, because I think people think, I think some people think this podcast is my job, which it's not. It's just for fun and really on the side, and something I've wanted to do for years and years and years, but really just didn't want to because either people I know had one, or it wasn't as big a medium when I did, or honestly because it took me a lot to actually get to this point, because I am someone that likes to stick to myself and be behind the scenes. I'm not someone that likes to be in front of the camera or even give my opinion publicly. I think this is a very new thing for me. And I think I've come, anyone that really knows me deep down will say I've come so far in such a short period of time of starting this, you know, because even just doing it without video and just doing that was nerve-wracking to me at first. I'm like, I don't know if I want it. Is it going to be good enough, or is it? And even now, like again, we talked about, there's people that are trolling the pages and pointing out things like Captain Obvious is out there. I'm like, well, you know, if I had a whole production team and other things, I'm sure it would be a lot better. And obviously, I know that. Like,
well, it's just the more you do something, the better you get at
right.
it. You know,
the content's not where I want it to be. I'm not where I want me to be. You know, I would love to be smoother on some things or have better content or topics,
there's
better
so
guests.
many people out there. You have no idea what people are into, and they might be
Yeah.
really into your weird podcast.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like there's no. If you want to do it, you should just do it.
Right. It's not what it is currently. It's watch how
what it
far
become-
I've come by.
and what it evolves into.
Right.
You know?
Like, just go back to the first season and look how much it's gotten better just from that. And that was only a 5 or 6 month span
Like
of time.
Yeah, like a good example of that is Pewty Pie, because he started on YouTube. He's the
But
biggest.
he's still annoying.
But hold on, let me get my point out.
Yeah.
But he's the biggest YouTuber. Everyone knows who he is, and he started on YouTube doing horror games.
Like you said, I respect his hustle, and I'm not hating that he's rich or that he's famous on YouTube, but I still think it's stupid. That doesn't mean I can't think it's stupid, and the fact that people pay and he makes money off that is stupid to me.
Yeah, he's got like Patreon and all that. I watch Pewty Pie. I think he's fun.
See, I need to get on Patreon. I've been on Anchor for my podcast, just because it's very simple and easy to use.
Yeah.
But I think Patreon allows me to do the videos on there and get more of an income going. Where
cool. So
YouTube's a little harder.
you can, like,
YouTube, you
stream on
need a lot
Patreon
of
or whatever.
views and people doing to actually make money, where Patreon, you can actually make money as a smaller thing. I mean, so far with this podcast, I've made $5.36, I think.
Bro, bank it.
And that's just
Bank it.
just from Anchor. That's just
Bank-
from me reading a thing before this that says, hey, Are you thinking about starting your own podcast? Then you that's
Every cent counts.
um
Rank it.
I'm trying to build up the YouTube because I think, and I don't care about getting paid on YouTube. I just want, that's how I think I can build
Everyone
and
knows
expand.
YouTube, everyone's
right.
on it, yeah.
It's just a bigger way of getting your brand out there than like Apple Pod, because there's so much competition, and specifically a podcast that no one, but people actually go on to watch the video.
Yeah.
So
With like
I
Apple
don't know.
Podcasts, you have to get someone to search it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
until you have enough
It's
followers.
not going to
that
show
it's-
up in
that it's-
podcasts.
Well, if once you have enough following and
Oh, yeah.
interactions, it will. But starting out, you got to get people to search it.
You're my monthly co-host, so I feel like once
All
a
right,
month.
so
with
I'll
you coming
take
in
like
here.
I'll take like $2 of that $5.60 you made.
No. Hell no. If we did it fairly, you might get like 30 cents
I'll take it. I'll bank.
for the 2 episodes you've done. Jesus. Getting greedy already.
Yeah. What else you got on that piece of paper over there?
We can talk music news since it is kind of a music podcast to a degree.
I hate music so much. So much.
I hate it, but it pays my bills.
No. music's
Actually,
cool.
one more topic while we're on it is the post. All the, since we're on kind of politics, is that post office stuff.
Oh yeah, the post
That's
office.
kind of
Yeah. I think any way you can vote, you should vote, and
support the
and
post
support
office.
the post office.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's post office is great.
How is
because-
this legal? How is
Yeah,
this legal
it's-
for him
it-
to say that
It can't
publicly?
be. Like it can't be.
There's
and-
no way that's not an
and then-
impeachable offense.
And for him to have like a
It's too late
postmaster
now,
general
but-
that's like all about it. The
That-
postmaster general is
oh my
literally like
No, it's his
he's
buddy.
he's trying to make the post office great again. It's like no, he's not. He's trying to suppress the vote.
But why don't? So I guess my point and the reason
I think we should have in-person polls open if you want to vote in person. You're comfortable not
right,
doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And we
For
should
sure.
we should have mail-in voting too. Any argument that says like you shouldn't be able to vote by mail is like
Well, he's throwing a lot of misinformation, which is they're asking for like 3.5 billion, but we have the infrastructure right now to already do that.
The post office should have exactly the amount of money they need to do their job.
And
shouldn't be
mail-in
taking mail-
voting isn't anything new.
Yeah, no, it's been going on.
I've
forever.
done it before.
Yeah, everyone's done it before. It's been
So
done
I don't
for
understand
decades.
why, so that's what I'm saying.
It's
He's
only-
throwing all
it's-
this
it's-
misinformation.
Yeah, it's only about suppressing the vote.
Right, yeah. But I can't believe he admitted that, and that's not illegal.
That's our boy Trump. But that's why we need to vote him out so we can, so the record can say Americans don't
But-
condone this type of activity.
But I get it. But
Then every president afterwards will try to suppress the vote.
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things he's done that doesn't mean it's going to change as soon as it goes back to Republican, or maybe even if there's a bad Democrat.
Like if Joe Biden
candidate.
just totally shits the bed or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, then there would be a referendum on him. You know what I mean?
I just I can't believe that something that's so important as the post office is
Is like in danger. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy times, man.
like sometimes it's almost hard to do podcasts because you're so speechless, because to you it's common sense, like,
It's like, oh my god. It's just
and you
insane
can't
that this
really
is
expand on it anymore
is-
other than
it's-
just saying
yeah,
how is
it's-
this even happening right
It's
now?
literally some like movie. Like this is a script type shit. You know?
Man.
Like a US president that doesn't want there to be a United States Postal Service.
And again, it's not even that. It's that it's for political stuff. And like this is
Yeah.
you play okay. I'll even give people the benefit of doubt saying, well, during election time, I guess there can be a little bit of politicking going on. But once you become president, that's it. Now you
Yeah.
need to do your job.
Yeah.
That's what we
Well,
paid you for.
Politics is part of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think the two-party system needs to be
Well, that's the biggest thing.
revamped. I think it should
Right.
just be like you're a person.
Right.
You're a senator, and your views are your own views. You have your own brand of views, and it's up to you as a senator to say this is what I stand for. These are my values, and all the other senators got to do the same thing, and it not be this juxtaposition, you know, where it's like naturally people are going to gravitate towards one another, but it being presented as a two-party us against them system dynamic, I don't think is healthy. It should just be, I think this would be best for the common man, or this is what America should do regarding this, and that's just kind of how I feel about it. And then everyone votes on it, and it shouldn't be like a good bad red blue division, or we should have more parties, make it even more diverse.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh no, for sure. The two-party system is not working.
it's too cutthroat, man, and we get shit like Trump.
Well, again, it's like instead of doing who's best for the country, we're like the better of the worst. We're getting
Yeah,
the better
yeah,
of the worst
yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
the best of the best. Earlier where it was Kanye. It's always Kanye, man. He's always doing everything.
He's good at being in the news too.
Oh my god! And again, I think did we talk about this on the last podcast
I'm
with
not
you?
sure, but I wish him the best because he's definitely got some mental issues.
Is that
going
well?
on.
I was gonna say, did we talk about that? I think the last podcast I did with you, we talked about it. Wasn't even that I thought he was a douche anymore. It's that I really feel bad
Yeah.
and wish that someone could get him the help he needs.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And that's another whole thing about that we could get into, but since we're on music. So Kanye posted on his Twitter about who is better, I guess. It was who is better or which person. Guns N' Roses or Nirvana. And what sucks is that I thought about it and I would normally go straight to Nirvana because that's what I grew up with.
It's a tough one.
That's what I like. At the same time, dude, Guns N' Roses in their prime were
And what is
so good.
What is let's get specific.
And they
here.
both changed music.
What was the actual like crux of the statement? Was it
Let's
who's
go
more
find it.
who's more iconic? Who was a better band?
Iconic
Who-
would be Nirvana in my opinion because they actually changed music.
Yeah. They definitely
But-
were. They definitely were a new wave coming in. But Guns N' Roses also like legendary in their own way.
Not Buckethead Guns N' Roses, but Guns N'
Yeah,
Roses, Guns N'
Appetite-
Roses. Oh
Appetite
my
for
god,
Destruction, for
they
sure.
were insane.
Which is like still one of the greatest.
they were like on Queen, like a Queen level.
Yeah. So
at
ways
that
up.
time.
Okay, who's better out of Guns N' Roses?
Yeah,
or
but are they
Nirvana?
talking? Yeah, but see, I think they frame it bad because you're thinking individuals, but I think it's ways up who's better out of Guns N' Roses or Nirvana, meaning them as a whole. But it can also be interpreted as like, are we talking about Kurt Cobain or are we talking about Slash?
I think it's more.
or the drummers.
For the sake of the argument, let's say as a whole. I think as a whole, Nirvana, 100%.
Oh, so it is. Yeah. Has asked fans to pick their favorites between two of the rock's music heavyweight, Guns N' Roses and Nirvana.
Guns N' Roses, man, Appetite for Destruction is just such an amazing, iconic album. It's so good, and their Fall from Grace was also very legendary. Like Guns N' Roses' Fall from Grace was almost comedic. It sucked because they were a good band, but Axl was just so out of his mind
What a
and
douchebag.
egomaniac, and
He's still
and-
crazy.
And Nirvana was
He's
so
fat.
iconic because they were so bold and new at the time.
Yeah, and Kurt.
And Kurt obviously did what Kurt did, and it solidified them in kind of like rock and roll history. So my vote goes for Nirvana, just because of
Yeah,
the
me
impact
too.
they made. And Guns N' Roses, they made a couple great albums. They had their time, but now Axl's kind of he's trying. They had the Chinese Democracy, which like was not a good album.
I'm sorry.
And they had the Buckethead eras, like you said.
Ugh.
And it's like Guns N' Roses' story's still happening, but I feel like Nirvana's better because their story's done, and it was what it was, and nothing can change it. You know, Nirvana.
This guy actually makes a good point. He's like, that's not really how favorites work, my man. My man. I hate when people call me chief or my man
But they
or
could-
even
but
bro. So I'm like, I ain't your
Nirvana was
bro.
revolution, but they couldn't have happened without Guns N' Roses. I don't know if that's necessary.
See, I don't agree with it either, but I see what he's saying.
Because Guns N' Roses was late 80s, early 90s at
Yeah.
the same. So it's kind of like they were, I guess, out during
They're
the same
different.
time, but different.
I-
You can't say Guns N' Roses was a hair metal band. They were post. They were definitely
Yeah.
post 80s
Yeah,
rock.
yeah.
I think.
No, I agree 100%.
As a guy that was born in 1992.
They're rock. Those guys are rock music.
Yeah, they were rock. It wasn't hair metal or nothing.
No. I do agree. Nirvana, for sure. Yeah.
That's 'cause
I
they
got
were-
my Nirvana
They were
poster
kind
up
of
there.
out at the same time, I assume. So
No.
Nirvana, though, just because they're Nirvana, man.
Green Day got me into music because it was so catchy and I was such an angsty kind of teen or young kid. But like that got me into Nirvana, Chili Peppers, 90s music, punk music.
My earliest memory of like really enjoying music was growing up. Every Saturday was when we would take like 3-4 hours and like clean our house. Like the whole family would
Oh,
do it.
nice.
Everyone
And
would do
listen
it.
to music.
And we'd listen to music. And the album we would listen to was Bad Out of Hell, Meatloaf.
Uh,
And my dad had
I
this.
would do.
No, not that album. First album.
Me and my dad would do the same thing, clean, and he would put on Meatloaf.
Yeah, and
Was that a
Bad
thing
Outta-
back then?
I don't know. My mom loved Meatloaf, and we had this nice stereo, and we would crank it up, and we would play Meatloaf. Bad Out of Hell, that first record. Seriously, don't play it. I'll sing it word for word, right?
120,
No,
plus 140
I'm
over
playing
90.
But yeah, no, it's so
Sorry.
good. But that was like the first music I was like.
We'll just do a quick clip.
Really, yeah.
Where's the one where it starts with the motorcycle, though? Is that this or no?
Maybe Paradise. It might be that one. I'm not sure. But the whole album kind of flows together.
He's crazy.
Oh yeah.
He's good though. Well, I think this is not him.
Maybe.
This is a good video though.
Yeah.
I do remember cranking. See, that's the thing. I love when I grew up like during this time and like Crash Test Dummies and shit like that. It's actually a good video.
Yeah.
It's kind of that Beauty and the Beast type of deal.
There was also a Bout Out of Hell like musical stage show in Broadway. When I was there with Pepper, I saw like one of the New York buses.
Did
come
you all
by,
go?
And it was Meatloaf, Bout Out of Hell, the musical live, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I have to see this. But
Did you go? No.
No, it's over. It's over. That's the beautiful thing about Broadway is a show will come out and
saw American
it's
Idiot.
short-lived and it's gone.
And
you'll never see American Idiot again. You know what I mean? At least the original cast, anyway. You know.
We went on. Me and my dad. This is a good song though.
Meatloaf is iconic. Dude.
Boom,
That
boom.
voice,
Especially when it kicks up.
Yeah. And he, you know, he wore all that stuff for this video. He's really dedicated to him, man.
Oh yeah. What sucks is now this episode is gonna get tagged on YouTube, but that's okay.
Whatever. People need to know about Meatloaf. Respect.
I told you I don't care about making money, so all it does is put ads that pay Meatloaf or whoever owns his music.
System is so backwards.
But he probably doesn't even see any of that.
I'm sure he does, but it's like he's getting pennies, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you should be getting those pennies. That's the point, because you're making this video.
Yeah. I know.
Even though we're using his content. But
Kind
only
of.
for a small part of the whole thing.
It should be split up where he gets like if I was making a cent off this, he should get like 0.3 cents or whatever.
Yeah, it should. There's got to be a better way, you know, for people to just make a little bit of money, you know. We don't need thousands, you know. We just want to pay our phone bill.
Dude, this girl's really pretty too. I forget I forget her name. She was pretty famous for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I've never seen Meatloaf live, but it'd be
This
cool.
actually looks like a video that will come out now. Like this is actually pretty
It's
good.
good production quality,
Yeah.
for sure.
And like they look updated. Like she looks like current, not because sometimes I see 90s stuff and I'm like, that looks like it was the 80s, you know? Like Friends to me, the early episodes look so 80s, but even though it was the 90s.
I never got into Friends.
Me either. I mean, I'd watch episodes if it was on or, you know, someone was watching it.
I would
but-
watch it and it just wouldn't be funny to me.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough.
I love
We're
Married with
doing too
Children,
much of
though.
it. Okay, here we go. This is my favorite part of them. The crescendo, yes. I thought you were going to sing it. You said you were going to sing.
You guys don't want me to sing.
Me either. Dude, I love rock operas. Like, that's why I was never gonna. I'm never gonna be a singer because I couldn't sing the things I want to sing. Like, I would sing songs like that, as cheesy as that might sound to people out there.
I love musicals.
Yeah, I would totally do everything.
Awesome. Hamilton is really good.
I would be like a
Phantom
rock
is good,
Brendan
Les
Urie.
Mis is good. It's all good.
Like,
I
have that
appreciate it.
vocal ability.
It's like if you like music but you hate musicals or something.
Yeah.
You need to get past something and just like watch it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite movies.
Okay, I forgot we were still doing this. That's a lot. That's a lot of Meatloaf for the fans out there.
3 minutes 49 seconds of Meatloaf.
So what was I watching earlier today? Ewan McGregor, but what was the thing? I don't want to pull up the thing because then it's going to turn on. He's going to shut off this TV. It was a more recent one. He played a bad guy.
He was in the Harley Quinn movie, which I haven't seen.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I just watched that.
Black Mask. I haven't seen
Yes.
it. Was it any good? It was alright. It's kind of like Suicide Squad. Like, Like, I'm glad I watched it, but I could have lived my life not watching it.
I liked it better the second time I just watched it than the first time, if that makes sense.
I love Ewan McGregor. Is he good in it, at least? Does he play a good bad guy?
Oh, yeah. I hated him.
I know his character's
I was
supposed
getting
to be,
pissed off by the end of it.
I know they made his character gay, so I thought they were going to...
Oh, did they? Yeah, I guess he did. I
Yeah.
guess they did, yeah.
So I was just interested to see how he was going to do it. That was the only reason I wanted to see that.
I mean, he wasn't, like, having sex with dudes or anything throughout any of it, and I didn't even see him kiss another dude.
But, like, the Black Mask character is supposed to be, like, a total, like, mobster
Oh, yeah,
badass
I
guy.
know,
So
yeah.
it was a creative choice to make him gay or whatever, and I just wanted to know what he was going to do with that.
I was just thinking about it today, and I'm glad you said that, because this is one of the other topics I had, and it can come across controversial because I think people can easily twist it to be something it's not. I am fully in support of gay marriage, gay people, having more gay content, having trans content, trans actors, blah, blah, blah. But I hate when people do stuff just to do it because they feel like they need to for PC reasons, and not because, oh, this is a trans character or this is a gay, or even if it's not playing a straight one.
I know exactly what you mean.
So if you're, but what I mean is I'm for them casting trans people to play straight roles, to play trans roles, or play gay role, whatever they want. And there needs to be more inclusion of gay people. But there's a ton of gay people in Hollywood, and there's a ton of trans people. 2 different shows I've seen on the CW. Supergirl has an actual trans woman playing a trans character.
I watch all those shows too. The one character when it's
name.
like Nia Null.
She's good. Yeah, Nia Null, and she's good looking too.
And it's like her character's trans, which is great and all, but there's nothing about the story that was required for her to be trans.
Right.
It was
they
just
did it.
It was for representation, and her superhero name was Dreamer.
Now, and they have Batwoman being gay, and they have
well, I know, and they're gonna replace Batwoman
Girl?
too. Right?
There was another one I
haven't
watched.
seen any Stargirl.
There was another one I just watched.
My favorite one's the Flash. Flash is the best one, I think. Arrow is good too.
Oh, who did I? What
But
was I just watching?
Supergirl is one of those.
Oh,
shows.
Roswell, the one about the aliens.
I haven't seen that.
So it's about the aliens that come down, but they live anyway. They throw this one in the second season. This character wasn't in at all, and neither was her. But they threw in this storyline where one of the girl's long lost sisters came, and she ended up being trans, and now she's in like every episode. And she has nothing to do with the story. It's just, and she's honestly not a great actress.
It's just representation for the sake of representation.
And listen, when you say that, people are gonna twist it like I'm not for it, and that's not what I'm saying. I fully support there needs to be more.
It just needs to be relevant when it's not relevant.
Make it relevant to the story. And I don't even like when they do that with gay characters either. I hate when like they're just gonna have this big gay sex scene because they want to emphasize the fact that the character's gay, and I'm like. What does that have to do with the story or anything going on?
Yeah, well, it's like in Supergirl, Nia Null is a good example of it because it's like when you first introduce her character, there's the reveal that she's trans.
And it's random.
And nothing else comes up about it. It's just like now she's the trans character. And it's you don't even see like a story arc about her like struggling with being trans, and they don't talk about like social issues like that. It's just she's trans.
Like she didn't get discriminated at the newspaper for being trans, and that's how they brought it in.
Yeah, they put a ribbon on her. She's the trans person. Yeah. Okay, we're good. And representation is good, but it's when it's. Like
but I feel it's fake when they do it that way.
Exactly, yes, it's not authentic.
That's what I'm trying to say. I hate when it's not authentic.
They're doing it because it's the PC thing to do. When
exactly.
It's like, why don't you just write a good story about a trans person?
Yeah. Or make a really like tear jerking or emotional one where it shows their transformation and maybe even dying or doing other things from the discrimination to bring light to situations. Yeah. And now I know they have those out there. I'm sure there's some indie films and other things, but that again, it's just I hate when it's unauthentic. It's just PC because I see it all the time with mainstream media. Shit, dude. Thanks for coming in again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, I keep saying coming in, but if you come in again within a month's time, then you're officially a co-host, and I'm not going to say thanks for coming in. I'm actually going to start giving you a hard time because you're my equal.
Yeah.